Hi, welcome back to Commodores Kitchen, Vanderbilt's only cooking show where you will find delicious recipes that are easy to make. Since the semester is coming to an end, Olivia and I decided to share with you some of our favorite summer recipes using fresh fruit. These are perfect foods that you can take to your barbecue or next summer get-together. Here's what's up first. Sparkling Basil Lemonade. A refreshing drink on a hot summer day, this basil-infused lemonade is slightly tart but mainly sweet. Garnished with fresh basil and sliced lemons, your drink gets even better with a splash of club soda for a fizzy twist. Nectarine Goat Cheese Balsamic Flatbread. Thinly sliced nectarines layered on top of creamy mozzarella and tangy goat cheese, this flatbread is a fun way to add summer fruits to a savory dish. When it's still hot, drizzle the flatbread with a homemade balsamic reduction for a sweet finish. Blueberry Crumb Bars. 4 cups of fresh blueberries and a hint of lemon give a beautiful purple color to this dessert. Topped with a buttery golden crumble, these bars are the perfect sweet treat to end any summer meal. So stick around and get a taste of summer with us.
To start off our summer get-together, I'm going to make sparkling basil lemonade. There's nothing better than a cold glass of lemonade on a hot day, and there's absolutely no substitute for fresh lemon juice. So to get started, I made a simple syrup. A simple syrup is so easy to make. It's just 3/4 of a cup of sugar and 3/4 a cup of water. Put it on the stove until it's simmering, until all the sugar is dissolved. Simple syrup will let us have a sweet flavor to our lemonade without having to worry about sugar crystals on the bottom of our pitcher. So to that simple syrup, I'm going to add about 15 leaves of fresh basil. And a little trick for the way that I like to cut basil is I separate all the leaves off the stem, and then I roll all the leaves sort of in a clump together. And then I run my knife through it sideways. And this gets us a beautiful julienne. And we want to make sure all the oils of the basil get released into the simple syrup so we get that basil flavor. So this is still pretty hot, so I'm going to stir that together. Perfect, let that sit for a while. Now let's get started on the lemonade. So I have here 5 cups of very cold water with some ice. And I'm going to juice 3 lemons and 2 limes. We want to add the limes to add an extra level of citrus flavor. And I'm doing this over a sieve so I don't get any of the lemon seeds into our water. Make sure you get all the juice out. Another great tip for juicing lemons is you can roll them on the countertop to kind of get the juices flowing, or you can put them in the microwave. Perfect. Okay, so I'm looking at our simple syrup with the basil, and the basil looks really well mixed into the sugar, so I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. Make sure you push all the lemon juice through the sieve so you get all the good flavor. And then again, I'm going to pour this through the sieve so we don't get any chunks of basil into our lemonade. And push that through. Perfect, so now it's ready to serve. So, let's clear the decks a little bit. I have 2 glasses, one for me, one for Christy. And I have 2 thinly sliced pieces of lemon, so everyone knows that there's lemon in it. I think that's super important. The other thing I want to put into the glass is some new fresh basil leaves so that people know that there's basil in it as well. And just put that beautifully in there. Now let's add our lemonade. And because this is a special summer get-together, we bought these really adorable straws. And you're done. Enjoy.
For our next dish, we're going to make Nectarine Flatbread. And while it might sound weird to add fruit to a savory dish, with our goat cheese and balsamic reduction, it's going to be a really well-balanced meal. So I'm going to start with my dough, and I just have some store-bought pizza dough, and I've lightly floured my surface. I'm going to add a little bit more flour so it doesn't stick everywhere. And what we're going to do is just stretch it out gently. It's kind of fun too. And we don't need to worry about making this a perfect circle because we're going to have it just like a nice rustic flatbread. And I'm just going to put this right onto a greased cookie sheet. Use whatever flat pan you have. And then right on top, drizzle a little bit of olive oil, maybe about a tablespoon. Okay, and now to start with our topping. I have some mild mozzarella cheese, and I'm gonna cut it in about 1/4 inch slices. You can add as much or as little as you want. I'll probably use about half of this. And layer it right onto our flatbread. And to pair with the mozzarella, I have some tangy goat cheese. It's definitely a softer cheese, so this will just crumble right onto our flatbread. Just gonna wipe off my hands a little bit. Okay, and next we're gonna add the nectarines. And I've already sliced them, so I'm just gonna show you just exactly how to slice them. So start by slicing right around the pit, kind of like you would an avocado. Then you can twist it. Sometimes it works. And just like our cheese, this is gonna be layered right onto the flatbread too. Start with these. That looks good. Okay, and to finish off our flatbread, I've also made a balsamic reduction. And to make this, all you have to do is reduce a cup of balsamic vinegar over a medium-high heat for about 20 minutes. And what this will do is it'll thicken. And to know when your balsamic glaze is ready, is just coat the back of a spoon. And you're gonna run your finger right in the center. And if it separates just like that, you know it's thick enough. Just drizzle it right on top. And for our last flavor, we're gonna add basil. I'm gonna do this after it comes out of the oven so it doesn't wilt. So this goes into the oven at 500 degrees or as high as your oven will go for about 8 to 10 minutes until the bottom is cooked through and the cheese is completely melted. All right, so the flatbread's done and our cheese is melted. And to finish this off, I'm just gonna add some fresh basil. And this will go really well with the basil lemonade Olivia made before. Just pick off the stems. Just give it a rough chop. All right, and then just sprinkle it on. And for one more finishing touch, I'm going to add our balsamic glaze that we used before. And there is your nectarine goat cheese flatbread.
Rolling.
Now we're going to start with our blueberry crumb bars. They're a great way to finish off a summer get-together.
And I'm gonna make what will be the base of our blueberry crumb bars and the crumble topping as well. So I'm gonna start by adding 3 cups of flour into a large bowl, and also 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder,
And this will help our bars rise.
and 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
Bring out all the flavors.
Okay, so now I'm gonna zest 1 lemon. And here's a little tip. Don't forget to zest your lemon before you juice it because it's super hard to zest
I've done that before.
a juiced lemon. Next, I'm gonna add 2 sticks of really cold butter.
And it's really important to use cold butter because it'll make your pastry really flaky.
So much better that way.
Yeah,
There's like actually a difference when you don't use cold butter, don't you think?
definitely a difference.
Okay, and now I'm gonna take a pastry cutter, and if you don't have this, you could use a fork, but we have it, so we're gonna use it. And we are going to cut the cold butter into the dough. And now that I'm doing this, I don't need to work out my biceps for formal season.
As Olivia cuts in the butter, I'm just gonna add 1 egg, and this is gonna act as our binder for our bars. And she can just cut it in the same way.
Did you want to get started on the filling?
Definitely. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is start with just 1/2 cup of sugar. And also to this, 4 teaspoons of cornstarch. And this is probably the most important ingredient of this dish because this is gonna allow our mixture to thicken. And 4 cups of blueberries.
Those are the prettiest blueberries I've ever seen.
They are really pretty and juicy, and you can also use cherries or strawberries if you want to change it up.
And one time I used frozen blueberries and it still worked.
Yeah, that definitely works too.
If you have a blueberry craving in the middle of January. Okay, so this looks about right. What you kind of want to aim for is that your butter be the size of peas, but just kind of a general mix of different size little chunks of butter is what you're going for.
Okay, and to finish off our filling, I'm just gonna add the juice of 1 lemon. Just make sure you don't have any open wounds on this part.
Ouch.
All right, and just mix this together. All right, this is almost ready if you wanna get the...
Perfect. So I have here a pre-greased baking dish. And I'm gonna take 1/2 of our crumble mixture and press it into the pan with my hands.
And now that that's just about laid down, I'm gonna add our blueberries. Okay, just spread them out thin.
And then with the remaining crumb topping, I'm just gonna sprinkle it beautifully on top.
And this is going to go into a 375-degree oven for about 45 minutes. And you'll know it's ready when it's slightly brown on top or until it's bubbling. That looks so good.
Those are perfectly covered, one note. I think we're good.
Yeah. Okay. So into the oven.
And Christy and I already made some of these this morning. Look how gorgeous they look.
Thank you so much for joining us on Commodores Kitchen.
We hope you enjoyed making some of our favorite summer recipes with us, and we'll see you in the fall. Let's eat.
Okay.